Welcome back, everyone, to the Clone Hero Podcast. This week, we have the wonderful JasonParadise, and, I should say, I'm Zero, your host, and we also have Hellashes as the other host, and these two go way back, so this will be a fun time. So, I think we should start off right from the beginning. Jason, where'd you come from?
Oh gosh, that's a broad question, man.
In the community,
goodness.
I should say.
Where'd I come from? Well, I started out as a young man growing up in the wild landscapes of. Oh, okay, that's not what you were asking. I started playing Guitar Hero back in the GH2 days, and it was recommended to me because I was going to school for music, and I was playing guitar, and people were like, "You love video games, you love playing guitar, this will be perfect for you." And ended up buying the game for $2 on release because I had a bunch of gift cards saved up, so best $2 purchase I ever made.
Yeah, that $2 purchase now made you probably the biggest Guitar Hero streamer, well, Clone Hero streamer on Twitch.
It's kind of crazy, man. It's not something I ever expected when I started streaming as a hobby. Not even 3 years ago.
That shit's insane.
Yeah, I remember tuning into your stream when it first started up. A couple of my friends, Ravital and New York Video Game Freak, were like, "Hey, Jason started streaming, you should jump in." And so I followed you, and at the time, I want to say you had I don't think you even had 1,000 followers yet or something. It was pretty crazy how far it's come, because what are you at now, like 75,000 followers?
It actually just last night hit 85,000.
That's incredible.
It's mind-boggling. I remember when I first started streaming on the channel, I started the channel with 600 followers, and that was because of my time working at Ubisoft, and I was working on a game called Might and Magic Duel of Champions when I first started there, and I did a few streams playing the game with the community, and all the community members followed me. So I had a little bit of, I guess, an advantage at the very beginning, just from that. But it's absolutely just blown me away how far it's come in the last 2.5 years.
It is pretty impressive. I want to get into the Ubisoft down the line a little bit, but I think we should start off with where you two came to know each other, if that makes sense. The VVV days.
Oh man, VVV Gaming, Vision, Valor, Victory. That is a huge part of my history. Honestly, I have a lot to say thank you to them for. They've done a lot. The guy who ran that company, Jerry Prohaska, is kind of like my mentor in a way. Dude's brilliant. Went on to help run Riot Games, the people behind League of Legends. He was in charge of their HR, and now he's doing the same sort of thing over at Wargaming, so working on World of Tanks and games like that. Learned a lot from him, but Gary and I got together through VVV Gaming. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it through the tournament that I ran, or was it something else, Gary?
I recall meeting you in person for the first time at one of the WCG events,
right,
in New York City. I think it was 2009.
That's what I was thinking of. That's it. It was Brock, and that was where I played against Alec for the first time as well, Asai.
Yes, that's where I met him in person too. Because Brock was the one who led me on to VVV to begin with, because he was already starting to get into the community.
Man, that was one hell of a tournament too. That was at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City, is where that was. That was the tournament that ended up sending Smokey Prague and Paradigm Shift to China for the World Championship. That was a pretty good time. But yeah, that was the weekend. Oh my God, that's a story right there. That's the weekend that you, myself, Witwix, and a few others, we all ran into a hotel room, and Brock jumped into bed with Smokey Prague.
Yes, Brock gave Smokey Prague magical powers to let him win the tournament.
This is true. That's kind of where the VVV Gaming days all started for the rhythm gaming side.
Sleeping with each other?
Well, I don't know if that's it.
Okay.
Just sensually massaging. That, what are these fingers good for, man? If we're not playing plastic instruments, come on.
There's got to be real life applications.
This is very true. You can all move on to being What are the people who do massages? Masseuse?
No.
Masseuse.
Oh no.
Yeah, community masseuse. We're good.
Oh boy, no.
Masseuse hero.
Oh, hell yeah. New name.
I'd back it.
Yeah, Jason, you were the community manager for VV, were you not?
I helped run. I wore a lot of hits actually. That's VV is responsible for me getting into the game industry because I learned how to edit videos. I hosted my own podcast there. It was called The Losers Bracket. It was an esports podcast. I made graphics at sometimes. I did interviews in person at events. I had so many different titles I can't remember them all, ranging from vice president to rhythm gaming division manager to you name it. There was probably a title that I held there at some point, and I'm glad I did because those experiences really did open a lot of doors for me down the line.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, hell, without that, we wouldn't be here.
How did you find out about VVV to begin with, actually? I'm curious on that.
Man, that is a wacky story. So back on my I'm dating myself here. Back on my 23rd birthday, I I had nothing to do, so I stayed home and I was playing Guitar Hero World Tour. That had just come out, a few months ago at that point, and there was I think that MLG was running. I don't know if it's still around. I have no idea. Do you guys remember game battles at all?
Yes.
So a lot of people played game battles for like Halo and Gears of War, and it wasn't too much competition on it, but there was a Guitar Hero ladder for Guitar Hero World Tour, and I had nothing to do on my birthday, so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to kick people's butts. And so I played 50 games and went 50-0. And I was like, all right, good birthday, done. And it just so happens that at the same time, the people who were running VVV were like, man, Guitar Hero is doing a lot. There's these WCG World Championships going on. We should look for people to start a rhythm gaming division. Where do we look? We don't know. Let's go to MLG. Let's go to game battles. Oh, hey, this guy's nearly at the top of the ladder. Let's go check him out. And they ended up contacting me, I believe, over AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
I
Further
believe.
dating yourself.
Yep. And said, hey, we'd like to talk to you about this upcoming event, because they had there's an invitational that was going on, and the person who wins the invitational would get a berth into the national championship. And they're like, hey, we have this invitational invite. That's redundant. We'd like you to represent us. Let's chat about this. And I was like, thanks, but I kind of don't need that because I already have a berth to the national championship. I've already qualified for it. And their response was, who the hell is this guy? So we ended up talking a little bit more. And I said, sure, your values, what you were standing for, completely jives with me. I'll represent you, but I'd like to work for you as well. And they said, oh, what? I was like, well, hey, yeah, I want to learn. I want to grow. Let's do this. And I remember the exact quote because it was such music to my ears. It was, are you an angel? Did you fall from the sky? And I was like, well, I don't know about that. I play plastic guitar. And lo and behold, we ended up joining forces, and it was awesome.
What was your first impression of Jerry?
God, okay, so Jerry Prohaska, the guy that I was talking about before, that's my mentor. He is he's such a smart dude, right? And he blows me away every time I talk to him. But he has a very rough edge. Like, back on the podcast that I used to host, he was my co-host on that show, and we had a regular segment that was called Jerry's Rants. And he would just dissect issues, and it was just F-bomb this, and, I don't know if I could curse on the show here or not.
Yes,
so.
you absolutely can.
Yeah, fuck this! There we go. Yeah. And he always had a reason for everything, though. And that first impression I had was, like, that he had good intentions, and he was smart. I felt like he was the smartest guy in the room. And I've always been told that if you feel like you're the smartest guy in the room, to get out, right? To go somewhere else. And I felt like I was in good company because I was learning, you know? And he was always so brutal on me, but I understand why. Like, when we were running the podcast and something would go wrong, he would get mad because, you know, at the end of the day, I was the one running it. It was my fault. And I've learned from that, you know? I've learned to accept responsibility about things. And he just, I don't know, he guided me down the right path. So I owe that organization a lot.
And hell, what he taught you, you're starting to teach me. So it's going to go down the line.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I feel like that's the mentality you got to have, right? Pay it forward. I learned a lot. Now I got to hopefully share.
Yeah, I had a similar thing with Jerry because I was a very enclosed type of individual for years, and Jerry kind of opened my eyes a bit about looking to the future for things instead of just living in the present, which is something I always did. So I owe a lot to that.
Yeah, it's neat when you even think about, like, VVV was started because he was looking at Xbox Live when that was first becoming a thing and going, hey, this could be something. We should make something out of it. And that was back in the days of everyone going, oh, we've got our clans, right? And the way VVV always worked was, like, they didn't just go sponsor people, right? It wasn't like, we're going to pay you the most and win for us. No, they were trying to find people that had potential and build them, right? Like, they were just trying to take people who had the ability to do something great and go, hey, let's help you do it.
Coming off of that, it's just interesting if anybody out there takes a look at the gallery on the VVV website, which I will link in the description. Like, you went all around the country for almost every tournament every year. Mm-hmm. That's impressive. Just travel in general, but doing it that much, that's just insane.
It's... I still have a hard time comprehending that a plastic guitar helped me to see the world. You know, it's wacky. Again, I've been saying the word wacky a lot lately. I like it because wacky just represents everything that's been going on for these last few years. I had never even traveled off the East Coast of the United States until there was a tournament back in the day that was being run officially by Guitar Hero in conjunction with the NCAA. It was a March Madness event, and it was only for people in college. So I had to register through my college on the website. I was going to UCF at the time, Central Florida, and I ended up getting a trip to the NCAA Final Four to compete against 3 other awesome Guitar Hero players, and that was in Texas. And I was like, wait, this is a thing? Like, I can win tournament prizes and go travel around the nation, right? Like, it's all thanks to a plastic guitar. Got to see a lot of the world thanks to it, and it's a beautiful thing, man.
It really is incredible, especially from the community aspect. Like, honestly, I believe 100% of my friends nowadays have all been somehow related to meeting them through Guitar Hero Rock Band. It really is incredible.
Yeah, actually, a lot of that is true for me too. Some of my closest friends I've made through the competitive gaming scene, and a lot of it is through Guitar Hero, or even the VVV days, right? People like you, Hellashes, Brock. It's just it's crazy. And there doesn't even go into Asai in particular, right? Because I met him when he was 14, or was it even younger? It might have even been younger.
I think he was 13.
He might have been 13 even. And that was all, again, thanks to Guitar Hero and VVV.
Yeah, and before the podcast, Gary and I were discussing his relationship with Alec, and I think it'd be interesting to compare compare your guys' different experiences with Alec, if that makes sense.
Alec is so genuine. I've always referred to him as a little brother to me, because I don't know, I love him and his family so much. Speaking of the traveling thing, this is a cool little segue here. There was an opportunity I got to travel to South Korea for a tournament at one point, And when I returned to the United States, it was actually Alec and his family that let me stay at their house when I was waiting to fly home, because I had a very long layover, like till the next day kind of thing. And so they drove out, picked me up. Alec and I hung out the whole day, and it was wonderful. They've always just been so hospitable, is I think the best word. And I don't know, I just always think of him like a brother. He's a good dude, and the family behind him is just, they're great people.
And what about you, Gary?
Well, I didn't have as much of a personal connection to Alec as Jason did, but like I was saying before we've been recording, was like I knew him when he was 14, 13 years old from the WCG tournaments and everything, and I really kind of lost touch with him for years, and the next time I kind of got back into chatting with him, he's 19, 20 years old, Twitch streamer. It's pretty incredible to see.
Now that being said, I do still have a little bit of salt in my heart for a match where Alec I've never beat Alec in a tournament. Every time I played against him, he's beat me, right? And one in particular sticks out, which is when he was like 14. And it was in that same tournament that I met Hellashes at. It was the same event at that Jacob Javits Center in New York. It was for, I think I was going to get eliminated if I lost this match against Alec. And the way that I got eliminated from this tournament was on Purple Haze in World Tour. We both had perfect star power path, and we both FC'd the song under pressure in the tournament. Double FC, both perfect star power path, and he beat me by 2 damn ticks. 2 ticks, 8 points. I got eliminated from that tournament by 8 points. All thanks to Alec.
Always a fun time.
I still have that stat screen picture somewhere. I'm sure I could find it.
That's just insane.
I think I only faced Alec once when it was at the 2010 WCG, and he just wiped the floor with me. And yeah, it was not a pretty scene. Definitely lost by more than 8 points.
The closest I ever came to beating Alec in a tournament was, there was an event in Phoenix, Arizona back in 2011 called Devastation. And it ended up being him and I in the finals, and it was a best of 5, and it went all the way down to the last song. I beat him 2 of the 5 songs, but he did beat me 3-2 in the end. And it was because it was Black Widow of Laporte. John 5, Warriors of Rock. That he was way better than me at, so he took me down there. But it's always been fun. And to be fair, I think neither of us ever actually received our winnings from that tournament. The tournament organizer from that event never paid out.
Devastation never paid. I didn't know that. The Devastation didn't pay out, huh?
Never paid out.
Was it Gamer Grub as well? Were you supposed to get Game Grub?
Oh, okay. I don't know whatever happened to Gamer Grub, but that stuff was delicious.
You can still buy some on eBay.
Are they still making it? Does it still exist?
God, no. There's some sealed packages on eBay though.
Oh, yes. Ripe. Delicious.
I think Alec or Randy bought one like a couple days ago, but we might have just been talking about it. I don't know. In the end, it's interesting. But yeah, coming off of conventions and like you ran not convention, tournament for Guitar Hero Live, right?
Not for Guitar Hero Live.
No.
It was Warriors of Rock, right?
The one tournament that I ran was Warriors of Rock. That was okay. How do I even get into this? There was an invitational that I came up with the idea for because I still wanted Guitar Hero competitive to be a thing, right? This is after Guitar Hero kind of started going on its hiatus, and I still wanted to see tournaments for the game because I was always a huge fan of what came from competitive Guitar Hero, right? The friendships that are still around to this day, right? It was just a blast, and everyone that watched always enjoyed it. So I tried to find a way that we could bring it to the internet. How could we stream a competitive event when there's no way to have like a spectator mode in Guitar Hero? And I came up with the idea of running a tournament with a makeshift spectator mode, in that I would join in as a third player and have an overlay that only showed the other 2 players' screens, and then commentate it. And it was the only event like that that's ever been hosted for Guitar Hero. This is back in, again, what, 2011, I think is what it was?
Yeah, I'll say 2011 sounds right.
And when that happened, when the event happened, this is back before there was a big following, like for most streamers on Twitch, right? And we still were pulling in over 500 concurrent people watching this live back then. I remember Golden Boy, if anybody knows him, who's pretty decent esports caster. He's up there, man. He's a good dude. I remember him responding to me going, wow, we need more of this. And it ended up being the only one, but it was really neat. Alec ended up winning that one as well. It was Alec versus Schmeggery in the finals, and Schmeggery was one of the people that won one of the WCG Nationals here in North America as well. So some really good players, really good players in that event.
Wasn't it Alec versus Schmeggery in the 2010 WCG as well?
It was in the national championship, and Schmeggery actually beat him there.
Right, he had the power of the black wig.
That's it. That's it. Schmeggery, that was an interesting guy right there. I wonder what he's doing nowadays. I haven't talked to him in forever. He was this competitive player in the scene that wore this curly wig. Everywhere he went, he'd take this curly wig and play in the tournaments with it. He didn't have any like hair under it. He just wore this giant wig, and I don't know why, but it was his gimmick. It was his thing.
I remember that before that tournament that he won, he always came in the highest placing that didn't get him any prize money.
Yes.
I remember this, like, oh, top 3 get prize, you get 4th. Oh, top 5 get prize, you get 6th. Like, he was always the one below, but that one tournament, WCG Nationals, he did it. So, congrats to him. Hey, there it is.
Oh my god.
Wearing the wig next to Smokey Prague.
That's some Dr. Disrespect shit there, right there.
Oh, here we go. We won't see that on the podcast, but I found a link to the finals of the GH Invitational.
Yeah, my co-host for that was Brock. We didn't know what the hell we were doing with casting. We had no idea. I was so unpolished back then. Good lord.
I'm still unpolished now, so you're fine.
No. Look at that beard. How can you say that's not polished?
It is.
I do want to sculpt it a little bit.
But yeah. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this picture that I will post on screen, of course, of you and Alec and Brock, and I think that's Ganon, all dressed up as Devo.
Oh no!
What?
Okay. That's a story right there. So that same tournament that I was just mentioning before, Devastation, where it was Alec and I in the finals, and he beat me at Black Widow. There was also a tournament for full ban. And part of it was that classic rule, Gary, you might have some experience with this, of being goofy, counting towards your points.
Yes.
Yeah. So we came up with the idea of playing some Devo tunes dressed up as the band, and we went and got flower pots and put them on our heads so that we would have the little like hats that Devo wore. And yeah, we were Devo with 3 V's in the middle for VVV Gaming. That was,
to be honest, that was very clever.
I don't know. It's about as subtle as a brick to the face, right? But we did end up winning. We went first, and even though it was judged, normally when you go first, you're screwed. We ended up still winning.
The real question is, who was the singer?
I believe that was Ganon. I believe it was Ganon Metroid.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Who was the drummer? Was Lee drumming? Brock?
It might have been Alec, actually.
Because
Really?
I recall when I watched, I think there's a video on, I recall watching the...
Wait, there's video?
I think so. Maybe not anymore. I remember seeing a video of it because I remember seeing that the drums were on hard.
Hold on. I don't know about this.
But this was like back when it happened. I don't know if that video exists anymore. Let me see.
It's got to be somewhere.
I will search.
Oh my god, I found it. It exists.
Haha. Yes. There it is.
Holy shell. What? Oh my god.
Yeah, so Brock was on drums, Gannon was vocals, you and Asai were guitar bass.
I was on keytar.
Yes! That's right. Amazing.
I didn't even remember that. What? What the hell? Oh my god.
There's so much charisma in this band right now.
That's just insane.
Oh no. I might need to take this video and use it for friggin' my YouTube channel. Holy shit.
Oh, well, speaking of your YouTube channel, there's a Kodak video on there. Is there not?
Oh god, are we just going through embarrassing moments now?
Yes, of course.
I actually found that through Gary's channel.
Before we start that, I just want to throw a little personal thing, Jason, that I remember telling you this years ago, that Kodak video cheered my girlfriend up a multitude of times when she was feeling down.
Did it really?
Yes.
Oh god.
She loves dorky things.
Kodak ESP.
Did you know that there is a way to sing? No, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Okay, so there's another story. I used to work for a retail company that was doing a contest with Kodak, and that contest was to help them sell printers, their new ESP line, and about how much money you could save if you switched to a Kodak ESP. And I decided to take some of my, limited knowledge at that point in making music and turn all the sounds from the Kodak printer into a rap beat and make like a parody rap song. It ended up winning, and I ended up getting a trip to Las Vegas and $10,000 out of it. And that song ended up coming back and biting me on the butt when it ended up getting charted for Clone Hero.
Yeah. I was planning on doing that myself, but don't beat me to the punch on that one.
Yeah. And now every so often you'll see in chat people will say hashtag bring back Jason's rap career.
There it is.
There you go. I was about to
Oh,
link it, but
God.
you got me. Hey, it's got 131,000 views.
Why?
I don't want to tell the story for you, but I remember you were like toe and toe with a parody Jerry Mays video or something. Or no, Billy Mays, my bad.
Oh god, and it was terrible because it was right after he had passed away. And the way that they had started the video was like, "Hi, Billy Mays here, and I'm back from the dead to tell you how to save money on your ink cartridges."
It's so easy, a dead guy could do it. Snaps fingers.
It was horrible. Like, it was bad.
But I mean, even the video that you sent out to Gary to have on his channel, even that is full of charisma. I used to have the link, but I don't know what happened to it.
I have it. Hang on.
I found that, and I almost cried.
There we go.
Oh man.
There you go.
I don't even remember. Oh god.
Well,
I'm
everything is
getting-
green.
I feel so like I hate to use the word cringy looking at this, but like I feel it. Oh god. Looking at me with short hair feels weird.
I can attest to that.
I need your money, Kappa. It's more like he needs the views.
He got him.
Hey,
That he did. It worked.
it worked.
He-
It's funny because like a lot of people were trolling the comments, things like that, and like, man, this isn't that good. But you know what? The thing that mattered at the end of the day was the people behind the contest loved it, right? Like, I ended up meeting one of the vice presidents of Kodak from that, and they're like, yeah, we loved this so much. And again, the trip to Vegas wasn't actually originally part of the prize. It was only supposed to be $10,000. They're like, yeah, we love this so much, we just wanted to fly out here and so we could meet you in person.
That's really cool.
It was kind of like mind blowing at the time. Like, I had never expected to get something like that out of. Like, it took 10 hours to do the song. It was 10 hours From the time that I came up with the idea, I took a friggin' handheld camera to the store, made every sound I could with the device, and just took the sounds home and turned it into something that, well, it's not pretty, but they liked it, so hey, that's what matters, I suppose.
Shader glasses, though.
Oh, good lord. I've made some questionable choices in my time.
But they always come out to be good choices.
You know, that's the case. That's totally it, because everything led me to where I am now, and I'm so blown away by what has happened on Twitch, like, and on YouTube too. Like, I can't even come close to overlooking that. I mean, the channel's close to 270,000 subs on YouTube now. Like, what? When did that happen?
Lots of hard work. And occasional meme.
Very true. Very true. But I do want to see if that I can maybe, you know, take the channel beyond just memes in the future. I'd love to keep doing them because they're funny, and if people are having fun with them, sure, great. But I'd love to do things like, you know, maybe do some work with bands and eventually make my own music and start sharing it with people too. You know, I'm trying to think of always what the next big step is, and that's got to be it. Is playing my own music in the future and sharing it with everybody, and hopefully getting it charted for Clone Heroes so other people can play it too. That'd be fun.
I think we should discuss the Twitch career now because of just how insane it is.
I don't know, man. It's been I instantly go back to the word wacky. Is this life still? Am I dreaming? Is somebody gonna wake me up soon?
I mean, it happened so fast too. Like, what has it been? 3 years, 3.5 years since you started streaming?
Yeah, well, and it's just there's so many little things that could have gone differently that I wouldn't end up where I am. Like, I look back and I mentioned earlier, you know, the MLG thing, right? Where I just decided to play game battles on the day that they started looking for somebody to bring into the organization, right? That's one. Second is me getting a job at Ubisoft, which helped me start this path. And the way that I ended up getting my job at Ubisoft was I was randomly playing a game of League of Legends one day and having fun laughing, doing stupid stuff in that game with somebody else. And that person, I was like, hey, let's keep chatting after the game, ended up becoming one of my closest friends, who's now also a partnered streamer on Twitch. Her name is Misty. She's wonderful. And we kept talking. We became really close friends. And she's like, hey, I just got a job at Ubisoft. Wouldn't it be funny if you worked here one day too? And she was my inspiration to get started streaming on Twitch. If I wouldn't have played that one random game of League of Legends, then I might not have met her and ended up doing this. It's really wacky. It's everything super friggin' wacky.
Misty's great, by the way.
I love that woman. She's great. You know, been my best friend now since then. And she's now just she just went full time on Twitch as well. And she did a lot more time in the game industry than I did. She worked at Epic as well as Ubisoft. In fact, she was community manager for a game that I think a few people have heard of it now at this point. What Fortnite? Is that something popular? I don't know.
Perhaps I may have come across it.
No, I never heard of it.
But yeah. Hey, you up for some games later? You want to win a duo? Let's do it.
Please.
Let's go.
Carry me.
But yeah, I mean, she took a leap of faith too, leaving Epic and working on a game like that to go full time on Twitch. That's some balls right there.
Congratulations to her too.
For sure.
Yeah, because I think honestly, the first video I ever saw of yours, Jason, was your video on leaving Ubi.
And that was a hell of a decision. I have to give props to my parents, because if it wasn't for them, then I wouldn't have made that jump myself. I was nervous beyond belief. I mean, yeah, the stream had picked up a little bit of traction, but I didn't ever think it was going to get as big as it is now. No way. No way. I have always had the mentality, as long as I can pay my bills, I want to keep doing this. And I was able to pay my bills by what I was doing. And so I said, let's do it. Let's freaking go. My parents convinced me, and I jumped off the deep end and left UB in January of 2017. And now a year later, the community is exponentially bigger, and I am still just humbled beyond belief at the love that comes to this content that I'm creating. It's incredible.
It really is. The Clone Hero community, or just the rhythm gaming community in general. I remember you were mentioning on Facebook the other day that top people at Twitch actually came to your channel and said that you are one of the most, like, the heaviest channel in terms of gifting subs, which is kind of mind-blowing.
The way that came up was right when gifting had just started, and a Twitch staff member had come in and said, hey, you know, there's channels like Dr. Disrespect that you have more gifted subs than him right now, right? And that's a channel with how many tens of thousands of concurrent viewers most of the time? Right?
Too much. He broke Twitch.
Right. So many concurrent viewers that it broke Twitch. That's a little insane. If we're getting more gifted subs than some of the biggest communities on Twitch, there's got to be something going right. It's just, I am more and more humbled by the day for the love and support that the community has shown.
There's just so many positive vibes coming out of it.
Funny enough, someone who I didn't even know that this person had watched me, but it's a friend of mine from growing up. He left a post on one of my personal social media accounts yesterday where where it was just a quote from something I had said in the stream, right? And I was like, oh God, somebody else that I know from growing up is watching now, and they're like, wow, I've watched a lot of Twitch and I've never seen anything like this community. You know, I can't wait to watch more. And like the fact that even that's happening now, it's just bending my mind in ways that I couldn't even have comprehended. I still can't comprehend it. I don't get it, but I feel humbled more and more and blessed by the day. Like, and I don't say blessed lightly because I'm not a religious person, but blessed. What else can I say? The universe has been nice to bring me to this point.
We discussed Ubi a lot, but I don't think we've said what you did at Ubi.
Sure. Yeah. Well, when I joined Ubisoft, I was actually in the customer support side at first, and that's something I never really talk about because it was so short-lived. Because I was still working retail when I got my job at Ubisoft, and the way I got my foot in the door was saying, yeah, sure, I will work in your customer service because I know I can get a community manager job there down the line, and that's what I'm working towards. And they said, wait a second, you're going to move from Florida, how many ever states away, to come here and work for a temporary customer service job? And I said, yep. They said, all right, you're hired. Come on board. Because little did I know they actually had a community manager role that was going to be open in the next few weeks that they had interest in me for. So I just took the leap of faith, and this was back in 2013, and said, okay, I'll work 2 jobs and I'll get by, and I'll just put my time in and try to move up in the game industry. About a month later, I was interviewed for a community manager position there and got it. And I started by working on the game Might and Magic Duel of Champions, which was a card game. And it no longer exists, unfortunately. Hearthstone destroyed it. But I ended up getting some really cool opportunities in the community side of Ubisoft to work on games like Child of Light and Far Cry and Tetris and so many other franchises that I never thought I'd be able to have a part in. I think most importantly, the one that most relates to us here is I got to be a part of Rocksmith. And Rocksmith is such a project. I don't think I've ever seen a more talented group of people in one room than sitting with the note trackers that make the charts, that make the leveling for the songs for Rocksmith, to teach people to play songs on their instruments in a manner similar to what you'd see in Guitar Hero. It's great. They're fantastic people. So a lot of really cool opportunities there at Ubisoft, working on the community team, and almost 4 years of experience there.
And then you jumped off to do Twitch.
Yep, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life.
I mean, it still blows my mind because you said working in the game industry was like a dream of yours, and you were there, but you had the opportunity, and look where it's gotten you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I always had wanted to be able to take the experience I had with esports, getting to travel, getting to see the world because I played a video game, and give that to other people. And I got to do that at Ubisoft through Duel of Champions. I got to run a worldwide tournament for this card game that we ended up doing the finals in Paris, France, and I got to be the head commentator for this world championship for the event. And it was a dream come true because I got to kind of give back an experience that I had to other people. You know, got to fly someone out from Australia to France, and got to fly people from, you know, America to France, including myself. And it was just a hell of an experience. And that was a dream that I had come true. And when I realized that I was able to do more to give back, and to also to just share love and excitement and fun times with people through Twitch via the streams, more so than I could from the game industry, that's when I was like, all right, well, this is growing, and this might be something worth doing more of. Yeah, it's hard to put this into words, but like, imagine working at a company where you have 10,000 plus employees, and you have an idea and you want to get it done. Well, it's really hard to follow those ideas and make them happen when there's so much red tape, when there's so many people that are maybe not possibly on board with your ideas. When you're running your own ship, you can do what you want, and if it works, well, then you can keep doing your ideas, right? So that's what streaming has allowed for me, is I can come up with the craziest ideas and just do them. And so far, they've seemed like they're doing all right.
Yeah, like your best stream ever, in my opinion, the Lady Baby stream.
Oh, well, okay. When I was saying I was coming up with decent ideas, I wasn't talking about cross-dressing on stream.
No, that one's great.
But you know what? If people are enjoying, then that's what matters. I said that I would do that if the channel hit 1,000 subs. And that happened in late 2017. And from there, it almost quadrupled in December, you know? Like, how? It boggles the mind.
Well, partially to do with, when was your front page time?
So my first front page time was actually part of the reason that I ended up leaving Ubisoft, right? Because it was, gosh, I want to say October or November of 2016. And that was for Partner Spotlight. That was Partner Spotlight. And I remember back then having like, 80 subs or something like that. And from that week it grew to like 150, 160, somewhere in there. And I started realizing that there was traction, and the stream started growing from that. And that was right around the time that WoW memes happened. And
Oh boy.
it sounds crazy, but I owe a lot to WoW memes as well.
Yeah, because I remember seeing your videos on YouTube on WoW memes, and the first one like blew up instantly, like
It did.
well over 1 million views, just like with the snap of a finger.
Yeah, and it was the silliest idea in the world. I was like, man, all these songs, what if we made a mashup of them? And I don't know what the mashup is, and I'll just play it, and whatever happens, happens, and I'll upload it. And I worked with Miscellany, an amazing charter in the community, to come up with the medley. He's like, yeah, let's do this. He made the medley so that I wouldn't know what songs were in it. And I just played it and got lucky enough to FC it on my first try and uploaded the site read. And it blew up. Between that, then the two sequels, I think that those 3 videos are pushing like 7 million views or something now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
You know, it's not about the impressiveness of it. That's not it. If people are smiling and laughing, like, people can get mad about WoW memes nowadays all they want and say, well, that's dead meme. Sure, but when it was relevant, people were smiling and laughing from it. And to this day, people are still smiling and laughing from it. I still see comments pop up with, whoa. and that's it for me. If people are smiling and having fun, well, then it's worth it.
Well, speaking of memes, tables.
Okay, maybe not.
How did the whole table memes thing sort of branch off from? Like, how did it grow?
That was all Helvian, man. That was all Helvian. Helvian made a silly chart, System of a Down, where it was just replacing words with table, and it took off from there, and people started using it in other things. I mean, it's kind of funny, but like, I started playing the remixes with the word table in it, but well before I think I ever put up the System of a Down memes that Helvian had done. And that's where it got started. Like, the origin of that isn't even on the channel at all anywhere, to the best of my knowledge.
Helvian is a meme master. And
he really is.
Yeah, I mean, he's the brain behind one of the first videos I had that blew up, which was the Down with the Sickness edit that he did, which some people started calling it Down with the Dickness.
I think that's its official name.
That's it. And I didn't know what to call it because he just named it as Down with the Sickness there, so I just put Extreme Meme Edition was the title. And that video is almost to 1 million views too. Like, again, it's brought in so many people to the community that are just wanting to have fun and laugh. And I think that that's where part of the magic is, that a lot of these people that are coming into the community just enjoy having fun and listening to good music or getting a good giggle out of being silly.
It's all for entertainment, you know?
Exactly.
Right? People have a good time.
Because at the end of the day, we're playing a plastic guitar. If you take it too seriously, well, I mean, we're playing a plastic guitar. We're having fun.
Exactly.
Took me a few years to learn that one.
Oh, I mean, it took me a while to do that too. I remember the days of grinding for my FC on Raining Blood and how much that made me sad.
Yeah, I think in itself, memes did lead to the explosion of the entire community.
It's true. And we have a lot of people that are coming back now and getting into the game, whether it's for nostalgia or because they just want to have some fun with something they maybe haven't done before.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people who come into the streams and they're like, how do I get in the Clone Hero? I want to start playing it, and just going through you, which is really cool that, like, you're expressing this great game to other people, and it's growing the game and growing the community. It's
overwhelming at points how many people are coming by and asking about it. You know, I just wish I wish it was easier for us to onboard people into the game, because right now it is kind of tough to download the game and find songs and find a good working controller. That's one of the biggest challenges we have as a community right now, is making it easier for people to find and play the game itself.
We got to start a guitar factory. Where's Red Octane?
That's it.
Bring him back. We need this.
Don't bring back Mad Cats.
Actually, they did just get brought back.
Yep.
That's true. Their own workers brought their own company back.
Yeah, it just came back at the start of this year, I believe.
Yep.
All right, I got an idea. BRB, gonna talk to Mad Cats.
It's
oh boy,
funny how true that really is, though. Like, that we could reach out and be like, "Hey, you guys, we have an idea. Come here."
Trust me, I'm working on it.
that would be absolutely incredible if it became a little more streamlined.
And that's exactly what it should be, because this is something that either people had as a part of their childhood, or people are seeing it now and they want to get into it for the first time. And it's very hard. It's hard. Telling people to go, hey, go check out eBay and see if you can find a used controller. There's a finite amount of those, right? What happens when we run out of used controllers out there?
Exactly. Also, I mean, hell, J-Prez is back, and on one of his streams, he pulled out all his broken guitars. He has 7 broken guitars. 5 of them are Explorers.
Which, Right now, I'm trying to get my Rock Band 3 Mustang Pro guitar to work because I want to get back into doing that, and I think people would have fun watching that. But I can't get the thing to work, and those are very hard to come by.
Yeah, we need to make new ones.
I just stood up and counted how many guitars I can see for this game just in this room. That's not counting like my storage and things like that. Just in this room, counting Guitar Hero Live and Les Pauls and Explorers, I've got 14 friggin' guitars in this room. That's way too many, man. And to have that many broken guitars just laying around, I need some friggin' new ones.
Yeah, like, I know that I'm probably on my 5th or 6th Les Pauls. I don't keep my broken ones, but I mean, it is what it is. They don't last forever.
Nope. We gotta get somebody to make new ones for us. We have to.
Yep. That reminds me of one of the first streams I jumped in yours with Jason. I remember, like, your Explorer broke on stream. And you were like, "Are you kidding me?" And then you put it down, picked up a new one. It was like, "Let's go."
That's it.
It's amazing.
I had to stockpile. I mean, Guitar Hero, Clone Hero, is a mainstay on the streams, right? Yeah, yes, we've been doing more variety lately. We've been doing more Dark Souls, and we did Mario Kart, and Bloodborne, and Cuphead, and Mega Man, and all these other things. But at the end of the day, people know me for playing plastic guitar, and I'm going to keep doing that on stream. So I have to have backups. I mean, what if this one fails that I'm playing with right now? What do? I can't just stop the stream, right? Got to have something.
Exactly. So just pick up the new one.
Yeah.
And that's why we need people to make more new ones.
Because I mentioned this earlier, but when you're talking about more new people getting into it, there's a whole new generation of gamers that were too young to really understand the Guitar Hero. Like, for example, Ulrich in the Clone Hero community, he's only 14 years old. You know, he was hardly grown at all even during its heyday. He was 5 years old during 2009, 2010, the heyday of Guitar Hero. So there's a whole new generation of kids who have never been introduced to this genre, really, because it was dead for, 3, 4, 5 years before Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4 kind of tried to bring it back.
Which didn't help anything.
No, not really.
Yeah. But also, I mean, from just working with the community, I understand that outside of North America, almost every other country didn't really get the game. And if they did, everybody got the Wii version.
Yeah, and it was big still. It was big elsewhere. I think back to even the competitive scene, right? In the Guitar Hero 5 World Championship, a player won that from Brazil.
Yes, I remember this.
So, there are players in other countries for sure. I mean, and we see it more and more nowadays, too. A lot of my audience is European and Asian.
They just don't have access to the guitars.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah, we got to change that.
Absolutely. That's one of the first things I reached out to one of the developers when I first joined the community. I'm like, we need to make guitars. And he's like, no, that's not possible.
Oh, it is. No. That's the wrong way to look at things. You can't look at things and say that's not possible. No. If you defeat yourself before you even start, you're not going anywhere.
I mean, we were at 1,000 members then. That was 5 months ago. Now we're at 29. You know.
Exactly. The potential is there.
It grows. It absolutely does.
Well, I mean, look at the interest that we have from different bands that are coming in now too, right? I can't believe how many bands are sharing the content that we're creating right now. There's a lot of interest.
I remember when Rings of Saturn reached out to you when you had the FC on, I forgot the name of the song.
I think it was either Macrocosm or Inadequate.
Yeah, Macrocosm. UFC had the FC video up, and their band is sharing it on their Twitter and on their Facebook and everything. Like, the bands are getting into it.
Yeah, I mean, friggin' Pierce the Veil's lead singer, who has 1.5 million followers, tweeted out a video of playing. like their songs. That's crazy. Look at the singer from Trivium, Matt. He's a great dude. He comes by the stream from time to time. We play some Trivium, and he streams himself. The singer from Protest the Hero, another band I grew up listening to and love. He's a member of the community. And it goes on from there to bands like Little Tybee, who shared their songs being played, and Devin Townsend just shared a video of, I believe it was Randy Ladyman's. And the list goes on and on from there.
Native Construct actually having their band members jump into Randy's stream when he was playing their songs.
Right! That's so cool!
And that's not even touching the YouTube creators.
There's a lot of interest in even getting the YouTube creators' stuff charted. I would love to see some of their stuff make it in as maybe official songs in the game.
Jared Dines.
That's the plan.
Lovely man. To kind of flip the topic a little bit when we were just briefly talking about GH Live and Rock Band 4, I remember, Jason, that you actually had a week dedicated to like your community for Rock Band 4 Rivals. How did that kind of come about?
That was actually Harmonix reaching out to me and saying, hey, we'd love to do this. Would you like to? And I said, sure, cool. And it was a cool experience. It was neat. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it really helped at all. Rock Band, I feel bad talking about it I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing.
I mean, obviously fixing the game. Did you not see when George was playing it?
Yeah.
It's fixed.
I do have to say the freestyle solos on George's stream were very entertaining.
For sure. Well, yeah, I mean, George is an entertainer. He's very good at what he does. Harmonix, on the other hand, ooh, is that too harsh?
No.
Well, I feel bad because I still have friends that work at Harmonix, and I like them a lot, but I'm just so confused. And they also keep, it seems like, I think they had 2 rounds of layoffs so far, and multiple friends of mine have been let go from their company, so I'm kind of a little bit bitter towards them right now, if I'm going to be totally honest. And I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I don't know. I love rhythm gaming so much, and the idea of being able to share songs or experiences with people through games like this, right? Because even Rock Band had its own share of joke charts. You know, maybe not call them memes, but they were jokes like SpongeBob, for example, right? Or Eric Cartman. They did have that kind of stuff. I love that. I love being able to share experiences like that through this platform. And I just don't get it, because both Activision and Harmonix now, I feel like, have fumbled on the latest entries in their series. So, series.
Yeah, it just really is unfortunate, because I owe my love for rhythm gaming to Harmonix. I mean, I played the original Amplitude and Frequency. I got into Guitar Hero through GH1 and GH2 and went through Rock Band. Like, I owe Harmonix so much for where I am right now with rhythm games. But like you said, the latest title, I don't know where they're going with it.
Yeah, I have no idea. And that's even coming from you when you were a part of one of their competitive events that they ran, the Brutal event, right?
Yeah, that was a fun experience, and I owe their Josh and Chris so much love for running that tournament.
And now both of them have been fired.
Exactly.
Ouch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I don't want to sound bitter, but because I don't know what's going on there. And they've been kind enough to let me into their studio and show me around. And, I got to see Drop Mix before it came out and play like an early version of it. And they were super kind, and I loved seeing what they were doing then. And I just, I don't know. I feel like I just don't know where Rock Band goes from here. And I don't know if they do either. Maybe I'm off target, but I don't see a reason to play it over Clone Hero.
I mean, right now, all you've got... I mean, right now, it's just the appeal of other instruments and playing in a full band setup. So, you know, if you had a group of 4, you have your drums and your vocals. Like, right now, that's the appeal.
And online.
Cool.
Yeah, online play as well, of course.
But if you're playing as a solo guitar-centric player, what is the reasoning for playing Rock Band over Clone Hero? Like, really?
It really, I mean, master tracks? I don't know.
And that's it, right? I'm stumbling to find that answer too, right? I don't know. I wish I had an answer for, like, a reason to play it again. Because I've always enjoyed Rock Band. And again, I've had great experiences with it over the years, whether it was Total Rock, Total Rewards, the tournament that was in Atlantic City that was run with MTV. That was fun. Or going to my friend's house and doing nights where everyone had a couple of drinks and we just sang basically karaoke using Rock Band. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of good experiences. I mean, I've traveled to New York City many times because there's a lot of Rock Band players in New York City, and they'd go out to bars, and there was like karaoke nights where you play a full band at bars. It was an amazing experience.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
It was tons of fun.
I gotta go find some bars now.
Go to New York City.
I don't know if he's still doing it, but there was a friend of mine named Steve used to run Rock Band nights, and I believe it was in Jacksonville, Florida. And I know that they used to have a program where they would like give out all the DLC to people if they wanted to run events in public. I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but I know Harmonix used to do that.
Jason, when I saw you back in 2010, we went out to a place that did something like that, didn't we?
Oh man, maybe, possibly, fuzzy memory.
I remember I met you at SeaWorld because I'm like, hey, I'm in Florida right now, Jason, and then we met up at SeaWorld.
Dude, we rode roller coasters all day. That was so fun.
Yeah, you were absolutely blown away by the flying roller coaster. We have to fly in your stomach, and it did the pretzel loop thing. Yeah, Manta.
We rode Manta so many times. That was a lot of fun, dude.
But yeah, I remember afterwards we went out to a bar. Who did we meet up with? It was one of your friends from Florida. I can't remember.
I think it was Draktier.
Yes, it was Draktier.
Oh man, I haven't talked to Joe in so long. Draktier actually was streaming on Twitch right when I first started too, and he fell off that train. I don't know what he's doing nowadays. But he was always such a crazy Guitar Hero player. He was the first person to FC what's the Alter Bridge song? Addicted to Pain in Guitar Hero Live. That's a hard solo in that song too.
He's a damn good GH Live player. I was actually watching some of his streams when he was doing it. He was really good.
Yeah, and really good dude too. We had a lot of fun in those Rock Band days together.
No, hopefully we can bring him back.
Well, I don't know about the Rock Band side. Well, we just need to get full band stuff into Clone Hero and replace.
Yeah.
Yep.
When Clone Hero gets its drums in and it gets its vocals in, that game is gonna be insane. It's already insane, but I couldn't imagine full band customs.
That would be an experience.
To the likes of Clone Hero, like, I know we have them with C3 and Rock Band 3 customs and whatnot, but to see it with Clone Hero would be unbelievable with the customization.
Absolutely. I mean, even bringing them back through the podcast. So there was something I learned. This was a bigger project than I was expecting.
Because what I'm thinking is, when drums come in, what old school Rock Band drummers could we bring back? Could we bring back Azurite Reaction, I Bite Pretty Hard, Legs Like Pistons, like people like that? I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking of these old names, like, would they come back for this?
I see a couple of those names in my chat from time to time already. So, you know, and some guy, he's streaming now, playing Rock Band 3 custom tracks on his drum kit. So, I mean, that's an entire another community that we might see pulled in eventually, and I look forward to that.
Did you say some guy?
Yeah, his name is Some Guy.
Some Guy 913. Good dude.
Yeah. Super cool dude.
There was a person named Some Guy who followed the Twitter yesterday. Oh no, my bad. That's Some Dude. My bad.
You know,
Some Guy.
Yeah, that's a very easy to make mistake. Some Dude was a bass player, I believe. I'm kidding. That was a horrible joke. No, but Some Guy is an amazing drummer. I actually got to see a concert with him from a Rock Band tournament, since we're just talking about Rock Band. They ran an event called Total Rock Total Rewards with MTV, and they flew out 20 full bands to Atlantic City to produce a show for MTV on us performing, and then it never made the air.
Oh.
And you know what? I don't care that it never made the air because it was an atrocious tournament, but man, they were nice to us.
Let's find it. It's got to exist somewhere.
Some guy and I went to go see a Ringo Starr concert together from that event.
That sounds amazing.
The highlight of it was Edgar Winter coming out and them playing Frankenstein.
Whoa, that's insane.
Yes, it was amazing. So we got to see Edgar Winter and Ringo Starr together playing Frankenstein.
I don't think many people could actually say they went and saw that.
It's neat. Again, all thanks to plastic guitar, right?
Yeah. So I know you very oh, sorry, I was going to move on to another topic. I was going to say, so I remember just a couple days ago you had the stream with 8-bit drummer. How did that go?
Dude, 8-bit is a very close friend from Twitch, and I had mentioned earlier the Partner Spotlight Week. He found me from that when I was on Front Page doing Guitar Hero Live, and it was kind of a little bit of a shock to me that he came in there because I was always a lurker in his stream. I'd watch him while I was working at Ubisoft. And so then he comes in and he just drops like a $100 tip on me. And he's like, great content, keep it up. And we ended up just keeping in touch. And I met him at TwitchCon that year. And we became good friends. And he lives a few hours away from me. So we can make trips to see one another and hang out. And he comes over and sleeps at my place on the couch, and we play a few tunes together on the stream, and we have a blast. And we're looking at doing that a little bit more in the future too. And the idea is that once drums get into the game, that we'll get a drum set here, and we'll do some dual streams doing drums and guitar together.
That would be really awesome.
Should be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And hell, even all the other YouTube guys, like right off of that. The possibilities are endless. But yeah, you stole my idea, Gary. So, congrats on that.
What?
That was what I was going to bring up.
Oh.
Oh, I could mention...
That's why we are co-hosts. Come on.
Exactly. You actually had your artist do a little bit of art for that stream.
Nope. Neither of us asked her to do that. She did that on her own.
I rated her on one of my streams, and she was in the middle of doing that art, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Jason is going to love this.
That is
there it is.
frightening.
It is amazing. I don't care how frightening you may feel it is amazing.
What am I doing with my tongue?
I don't know, but I kind of wanted to see you guys dressed up and recreate this.
Like a raspberry or something, or what?
I guess. I did tell him, I was like, people are asking, maybe we should do this next time you pull out the maid outfit. I'll pull out the Ladybeard outfit again, and we'll make this happen.
Oh boy.
So who knows?
I would love that.
How do I unsee things? How would you want to unsee that?
But hell, I mean, she's fantastic.
Her art is great.
So she actually works for Disney.
That's right.
She does illustrations for Disney, so she's incredible. Like, I was blown away when I saw that she did the official stickers. So they have like the stickers on like Messenger and things like that nowadays. She did the official ones for Thor Ragnarok. So working on Marvel movies and things like that. Yeah, she's a good artist. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it's like checklist. All right, Marvel costume, Marvel background, 8-bit Paradise made outfit.
Oh god.
Yeah. Basically, what I've come to understand, cross-dressing gets you views.
Not really. I mean, I didn't see any big bump from that. In fact, a lot of people don't even know that the FC video of that song that I have where I was dressed up as Lady Beard is even on the YouTube channel, right?
I enjoyed it.
It's not like you do it for the views. You're doing it, because, you want to entertain.
100%. And that's actually how I've felt from the beginning, right? That's the reason why I have the rule in my chat about not mentioning viewer count. Because I don't care. I don't care what the number says. I care about talking to the people that are there and having fun and hopefully entertaining the lurkers that are there, right? I don't care if it says 742 or 27, whatever it says. Like, that number is not important. What matters is the people who are watching it.
Exactly. I mean, that's the way I try to approach my streams, and I'm a tiny little streamer. If there's one person watching, that's plenty for me that I'm entertaining at least one person.
Absolutely. I just keep having all these ideas. Let's see. Let's do a full band FC when they get in Clone Hero. We got to get Ladybeard. Got to get 8-bit made outfit. We got to get George in his who was he dressed up as? Midori.
Midori?
And
Midori, yeah.
We need Prez as the singer in some sort of his outfit.
Oh boy, I could picture it now.
It's sad I can too.
Hey, I don't call it sad. I call it inspirational.
Inspirational, yes. Picturing all these beautiful people cross-dressing together. Beautiful.
So I'm looking at the podcast outline, and you have one thing here called discuss not flooding the big streamers who you are a fan of with messages and overrunning their inboxes and all that. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be.
That is more of, I was thinking, giving Jason a soapbox to discuss just that situation that exists for anyone who's big and all. Everybody just wants to talk to him. And it just gets too much.
Well, that is true, but at the same time, I get... I do appreciate when so many people do want to like reach out or say anything like that. It is tough. I just hope that people understand that like it does take a lot of time and how hard it is to set things up for streaming and to always be uploading new things and editing, etc. when it's a one-man show. I don't have anybody like making graphics for me or anything like that, so I do it all myself, other than like, let's say the artwork that Purple Almonds does, right? Like, but I'm editing my videos and making the thumbnails, right? So it takes a lot of time off stream. It's not just the time on stream on camera that I'm working. So it's hard to respond to everything because of that. That's tough.
Yeah.
So I just hope that people understand that if I don't get back to them, it's not because I don't want to. It's because I don't have the ability time-wise, because I still have to worry about being a human being, it's hard, man.
Exactly.
Being a human being is hard.
It's like what George said on his podcast. It's not that he purposely ignores people in chat. It's just so much going on. It's hard to respond to everybody. And some people take it as like a personal affront. Like, he's purposely ignoring them. It's just hard.
I've seen that a lot in the past too, with like, why aren't you reading my message, or notice me, senpai. You know, it's like I'm trying to notice as many people as possible while still hopefully making an entertaining broadcast. You know, I want to make sure it's as entertaining for as many people as possible.
Exactly.
There's just a lot to balance. I mean, I'm not even sure how you do it, how you balance your life with everything that goes on.
He's a magician.
Yeah, I pretend that I do.
Have a front.
No, I actually really need to take better care of myself. That's one of the things that I've been really lacking on, because like, whether it's trying to find new stuff for the community, or you know, get new charts imported, or update my spreadsheets that show which songs I have, or find a new bot to track suggestions from people in the chat so that we can have the right things to play on stream. There's a lot of work, man, but I love it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. You know, I'm I'm so happy to be able to do this for a living, and if it takes 70 hours a week of work, well, okay, I'm learning to cut back a little. You know, I've cut back a little on YouTube. I'm only making about 3 videos a week instead of the 7 a week that I was doing in the past. I've learned to cut back a little bit, but it's tough. So if I don't get to every message, that's why. That's the reason. Yeah. I do try my best, although Twitter DMs are a graveyard. I haven't been able to read Twitter DMs in forever, so I apologize. If anybody sent me a Twitter DM, I haven't read it. I'm sorry. That's just not the case.
Yeah, it's just something I find interesting, because that's something the rhythm games community, the people just don't do. You guys don't have editors. You don't have like somebody who helps you do all the menial tasks. Like a lot of the YouTubers external to this community do of the same size. Like almost everyone has an editor now. It's just interesting.
I mean, I was in one of your streams recently, Jason, where you actually said no to a request, and yeah, that apparently that was a very big stepping stone.
I've actually stopped trying to use the word request in chat, and I try to use the word suggestions instead now, because I'm trying to get across the point that just because someone wants me to play something doesn't mean that I'll be able to actually do it.
Yeah, understandable.
It's hard because, like, in the past, I had systems in the past stream-wise where, you know, I wanted to have, like, a way for everyone to request a song, and we'd go through and I'd mechanically play each song after one another. And then I realized the streams were getting really robotic, and I didn't like that, and I wanted to be able to have more choice in what I was playing as well, because I want to have fun too. And I just ended up going to say, hey, this is suggestions only, right? You can suggest something, but that doesn't mean it's going to get played.
So
kind of like a group think sort of thing, like if a group of people are like, hey, I feel like I want to listen to this band, and then you kind of jump into that because, you know, it's a group process.
In a perfect world, that's how it would work. Still polishing it up, but I feel like the streams have gotten a lot more entertaining and a lot more free-flowing, and there's just it feels like a better production ever since getting away from the request system.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
But it's good for the small streamers like you, Gary. Like,
oh god, yes.
I mean, when I was streaming, it was, I would sit there with just dead requests. I'm like, well, I don't know what to play.
JoeBot has really done wonders for my stream, because my old setup was using Ankbot's queue system, and it was very not very good. But JoeBot has done wonders for requests. But like Jason said, we get to a point when there's so many people and it gets such a huge list, it becomes, all right, I'm going to play this, now it's time for song 2, and now song 3, and now song 4, all the way to like song 100.
And 90% of them are the same song, because everybody wants to hear Through the Fire and the Flames.
Can you play Through the Table and Memes?
I get requested that in my stream, and I don't have the chart, and I get it requested every day.
That's probably for the better. I'm gonna be honest. It's for the better.
I still remember Prez downloaded my meme pack, and he had a stream where he did nothing but play meme songs. And
why would he do that to himself?
Because he was so external to the community, he didn't know about him.
I'm lucky enough to have some regulars that are very down to earth, like Little Tales, for example. Like they love hearing stuff they want to listen to. Like I'll get requests for Michael Jackson or Janet Jackson, and then I'll get stuff for my metal stuff, and then I'll get into some jazzy stuff. Jay Duran's always requesting really cool jazzy things. Ganon Metroid requesting a lot of math rock. Like you get a lot of variation, which is nice, which not always happens for people,
Yep. And you find new things you like from it. Hell, I found Polyphia from your stream.
That's the idea, is to
cool.
hear new music.
Right, exactly. And I mean, even I just found a band that I am in love with. After we finish recording this, I'm going to be taking some time and going and listening to a few albums, because I just found out about Caligula's Horse, and I am in love with them.
Yes, very good band. I mean, in my first week of streaming, I found out about Rings of Saturn, Thank You Scientist, Polyphia. It's like just in 1 week, I'm getting all these awesome new music in. It's really amazing, and I want to share that with everybody. I mean, I'm sure that's what Jason wants to do too.
Isn't that the greatest feeling, though? Like, just being able to go, hey, I found new music that I love. I get to share it with you guys. That's exactly what I wish we had more of in the rhythm gaming community. Like, again, I love the meme charts. I love enjoying them. But at the end of the day, I am a giant music nerd, right? It's what I went to college for. It's why I have a guitar tattooed on my arm. That's why I have my guitars and my other instruments in the house, right? I love music, and I love getting to share that with other people, and that's just such a cool thing to be able to do that through streaming.
It's weird to see the divide between the hardcore community who wants to play Bleep Bloop Bloops and the just music nerd side that I prefer, where I just find new music I enjoy.
Well, the Bleep Bloop side, I get that too. Like, again, there is a very big appeal into achievements. I mean, I get it. I was that way too. And I don't know, I grew out of that. And I don't think I'd want to put in the time nowadays to learn those kinds of patterns. Do I think if I put my mind to it, I could play some of that stuff? Sure. It would take a long while, but I think I could do it over time, right? But I've never even downloaded a chart like that. I don't want to. Like, that's not why I play. I want to listen to new music.
And even with Clone Hero, with the very easy ability to speed up songs, you're seeing a lot of Solus 150 or this song 200% speed, and then it just builds up and builds up and builds up. And how fast can you go?
It's impressive, but just weird.
I mean, like, okay, like I use speed ups for either like just goofy moments on the stream or once a day. Right, just for something. If someone's like, "Yeah, do this challenge," like, okay, cool. Like, and I appreciate the skill behind it, but again, with speed ups, it's the same thing. Like, I really want to listen to music the way it's, the artist made it. Now, that being said, there are some times where, like, Macrocosm, when we sped it up by like 10%, I thought that actually sounded better.
Yeah, I agree. There's certain songs where you do like little minor increments and makes them sound really cool.
It's almost kind of like a band just speeding up the tempo a little bit when they're doing it live in concert.
Yeah. And then there's other cases where I remember doing Red Lottery at 200%, and I'm like, this sounds like every other Megasys song now. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I explained that a little strange. I enjoy it. It's just cool to see. There's some people who will just grind a song all day. There's other people who will miss an FC and be like, okay, on to play more music.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, though, with the streamer, it's just all up to, are they having fun doing what they're doing? Like, for me, I hardly FC anything on stream because I'm too busy having fun rocking out. It's fun.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
I mean, you FC'd Jordan when everybody rated you.
Well, that's because that's a song that I did play hours and hours and hours on end.
I mean, you might have like one of the first FCs of it or something. Like one, I guess the first. Okay.
Perhaps. I mean, you may have mentioned it once or twice in your stream.
Yeah, maybe. Every so often. Like every time you're there.
It's just cool.
It's still a running meme, even among my friends, the Hellashes, and I'm like, I'm not the Hellashes.
But you are the Hellashes.
I mean, technically, yes, it's the same body.
Shut up.
You got the performance.
I mean, I do it for fun. I mean, it makes. I used to years ago hate playing songs that weren't difficult, and it's like, oh, this is boring. I don't want to play the harder stuff. And I realized getting into the music and having fun with it, even if it's an easy song, it makes it that much more enjoyable. And I appreciate the easier songs, and especially if I'm really into the music, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, in my opinion, performing on a stream, like playing up and all that, is more enjoyable to watch than skill. So like when Prez does his stuff where he like dances around in his bed, that shit's hilarious. Like, I don't know.
Or
It's strange.
Jucog playing upside down in mirror mode, like stuff like that.
Sure, yeah. It's entertainment at that point, right?
Yeah, it's less skill grinding, more.
The plastic guitar is just a peripheral for entertainment. It's not,
That's
not specific.
Exactly. I just want to see more of those, more streams where it's an act or a performance. Like,
well, I mean, look at how far the community has come, even since the first time that I streamed Clone Hero last year. Because I remember the reaction. I remember Asai going, "Wait, you're playing Clone Hero?" Like, I remember that reaction when I first played it on stream, and I remember we had maybe 3 or 4 people at a time on Twitch playing Guitar Hero, right? Now it's significantly more.
Oh yeah. Although Clone Hero needs to have its game be mentioned on Twitch now. I'm tired of pretending to play GH3.
Nah, we're waiting till the name change. Basically.
The name change?
Yeah.
All right, right now, I just loaded up Twitch. Under the Guitar Hero 3 directory, compared to last year when we had maybe 3 active streams at any given time, there's currently 16.
Yeah, it really is incredible how much it's grown.
That's a big jump for... I mean, again, Guitar Hero 3 as a game, the category we're using, that's been over 10 years since it was, out.
And looking at it, not a single one is actually playing actual Guitar Hero 3. Every single person is playing Clone Hero under the name of GH3.
I see people sometimes playing GH3, but also I'll load up the GH3 tab at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there'll be 5-6 people playing.
I think here's the most telling thing, right? You know how you can follow games on Twitch?
Yeah.
There's almost 106,000 people following Guitar Hero.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
105,906 followers.
Insane is what it is.
And
we've come a long way, man, and we're only growing.
And not only that, but I see, oh, we're playing Anti-Hero today. We're playing so-and-so, Carpal Tunnel Hero 2. I'm streaming with JoeBot. Like, you could see the building of, like, all the blocks that have been placed.
It's all building up to something.
Feels good, man.
It does.
It absolutely does. And I'm happy to see that. Because, hell, like I was saying earlier, I joined the community, like, August 23rd, I think it was, of last year. I was, like, join position 1,000 and something in the Clone Hero Discord. We're almost at 29,000 members. It's been like 5 months.
Yeah. It is incredible how quick it's exponentially growing. It is really crazy.
It's nice to see that the community's not really dead like everybody thought it was.
Yeah, everyone was probably thinking, oh, it's a niche thing. It's just going to be there and just be in the background. But it's not in the background. It's the forefront right now. At least for, Guitar Hero Twitch streaming.
Or even Twitch streaming in general. Remember when at one point Guitar Hero was above, what was it? It was above a huge game. I think it was above PUBG at one point when Fortnite kind of took over PUBG.
Huh.
Wow.
But it was only for a little bit of time, but still.
We got a long way to go, man. We got a long way to go. I mean, yes, this is awesome, but I would love to see this grow. I mean, I remember the Guitar Hero 3 heyday, and I'd love to see a little bit more recognition come to the Clone Hero side, because you guys have such a friggin' great game here,
No pressure, Sterling.
Well, I mean, it's only an alpha. That's what I keep telling everybody. I'm like, look at what this is. This is an alpha product. We are nowhere near done, and it's already more polished and more usable and better for streaming than anything Activision has put out Guitar Hero related ever.
Well, that's the big thing, is that it was made for streamers, and at this point, with the streamer input, it's essentially made by streamers.
Correct.
Exactly. I call the streamers the marketing team.
Kind of funny that I went to school for marketing after finishing the music stuff, huh?
Hey, there you go.
It all somehow comes together.
It comes full circle. I mean, hey, we also found out that Sryline does have a voice.
Yeah,
What?
We actually just talked to him last night.
Yeah. That's the first time anybody in the community has heard him speak, as far as I know.
It's like meeting Jay Siri on Score Hero in person, or so. It's like, what happened?
It was interesting.
Yeah, speaking, I mean, in the same arena as the future of Clone Hero, Jason, do you have any future projects that you're working on for your stream?
Ooh, I'm trying to think of something I could actually mention. Okay, here's one. I'll tell this. So I had mentioned before that I'd like to do more with bands. That I'd like to possibly have some come on the stream. I do actually have one band already booked, and I don't know when or what the date will be. But the idea is the band Protest the Hero is about to do their 10-year anniversary tour for the album Fortress. And that was a album that I loved a lot growing up. And I have talked with the singer Rhodey Walker from the band, who has said that he would like to come on and join as I play through it. We'll talk about it. We'll do some Q&A. And don't know when that'll be, but it'll happen in the future. So there is at least that to look forward to. So we'll be doing hopefully more like that in the future if this goes well. And dream-wise, I'd love to have, once every few weeks, have an artist come on and talk about their music and give like a Q&A session with the community, because I feel like that's just the next step for something like this. And I'm thrilled that it might actually be a reality.
That sounds really awesome. So it's almost like you talk to the band while you're playing this. You're playing the album, and then you talk to them about the album, or just like the band themselves.
Sure.
Or
so let's say it's playing through the song Blood Meat, and we're talking and hey, what was the meaning behind this? Give me some thoughts on the song. How did this riff come about? Or maybe stories about the recording, and then maybe questions from the community. Get some insight into what's going on in the minds of these artists when they're doing these songs.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah,
I would be down to watch.
Giving the community a way to speak with the people who make the music they enjoy, or even hear straight from them, stories. It's great.
Exactly. Totally.
And then there's people who probably have never heard the songs before, getting to hear them while you're playing them, and
So
then they can get their insight.
That is the most personal introduction to a piece of music than you could ever get. I mean, how could it get better than an artist going, hey, this is what we were going with for this song, or this is what we were thinking about, or this is what this is actually about here. Getting to hear that mind behind the ideas, that's just, it sounds so appealing to me.
I feel like that's something that could inspire others, too, to actually get into writing music.
Completely. 100%. And if that inspires people to write their own music, too, hell yeah.
I think we could probably end it off with, is there anything else you would like to say, Jason?
I'm just thankful you guys invited me on, man, and I'm happy that I have this opportunity with the community to hang out, to share laughs and songs, and I don't know, I feel more and more humbled by the day. I said that a million times at this point, but I can never say it enough, because the people who support, I mean, it's the reason I'm able to keep doing this. And if we can keep growing this community, the Guitar Hero, Clone Hero, whatever you want to call it, community, and I think we got something beautiful here that could hopefully make some awesome moments for years to come.
I think that's very well said, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to sit down and chat with us, though, with your busy schedule.
Hell yeah, man. I'd love to do it again in the future, too. I mean, you guys are awesome. I love getting to talk with Zero. Gary and I go too far back at this point. And it's always good to catch up with you guys.
So if that's
still got to visit you. Haven't happened yet, but I still got to visit you, man.
Please do. Let's do a dual stream at some point. Would love to have you down.
That sounds too good. Now I'm excited.
Boom. Plans for the future. Done.
Yep, there you go. Checked off.
All right. Well, if that's it, I think we can call this one a wrap.